Okay, we're looking at Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and we're looking at the keyboard part. And as I mentioned before, we're breaking this down into individual sections to learn. We're going to string all these sections together to create the arrangement and be able to play along with the recording. So we're looking at what I'm calling verse A. So verse A is going to serve as the material for the introduction, so for the intro, and also for the verse. And we're going to have a verse A and a verse B because there's a couple times in the recording where essentially they go to a different couple chords towards the end of these four measures. So verse A is this four-measure phrase. I really strongly suggest that you print out the music and have it handy while you're watching the video so you can take some notes and jot some things down that will be helpful to you when you go back and try to practice and play along with the song. So let's kind of go through and just, I'm going to play the right hand slowly and talk about what's going on for these first four measures in verse A. Then we'll look at the left hand and we'll put it all together. So in measure 1, the right hand is really just playing this B minor triad. Okay, so this is really the chord that's going on in measure 1. In measure 2, we're going to this G sharp minor, flat 5. All right, so B minor in measure 1, D, F sharp, B. Measure 2, G sharp minor, flat 5, so D, G sharp, and B. Now in measure 3, we're going back to this B minor triad. But what's really happening here is on beats 1 and 2, it's functioning as a G major 7 because we have this G in the bass. So I'm in measure 3 right now, so this chord on the downbeat of measure 3, really G major 7. And then we're going to stay on this chord and go down, and the left hand's going to go down to F sharp, so it's going to become sort of this B minor over F sharp. Now in measure 4, we're going to this E minor shape. So this is E minor because we're going to have that E in the bass, right? So here's my 5th, 7th, and 3rd, B, D, and G. We're going to play that twice, and then ultimately we're going to go to this shape, which is sort of this G7 shape, right, without the G. The G will be in the bass as well. So let's just review those chords, and then we'll kind of go through and figure out the rhythm that we're going to put to these chords. So we have the first chord in measure 1, B minor. Measure 2, G sharp minor, flat 5. Measure 3, back to this B minor shape. In actuality, it's going to be a G major 7, and then on the second half of the measure, it'll be B minor over F sharp. And then in measure 4, this looks like a G major triad. It's actually an E minor 7 chord for the first half of the measure. And the second half of the measure, we're going to this shape, this G7 kind of shape. Okay, so B minor, G sharp minor, flat 5, back to this B minor triad, which is G major 7, and then E minor 7, and then this. Okay, now the rhythmic idea of what's going on here is we're kind of taking these shapes and breaking them up into sort of this back and forth sort of rhythm. So if we're counting this, it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. One more time slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. All right, now let's look at the left hand. Left hand's fairly easy. And this is doubling, I think, what's going on not only in the keyboard part, I think the bass player is also playing this bass line. So the left hand's just starting on this A, and we're really just walking down chromatically. So in measure 2, we're going to that G sharp. Measure 3, we're going to the G natural. Now in measure 3, we play this rhythm, this sort of moving bass line. So we're playing G, and then it's moving F sharp, B, down the octaves of the B, up to the E. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That brings us to measure 4, and in measure 4 we're just kind of walking up. So this is the end of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So just sort of walking chromatically back up to that A. grammatically meaning in half steps. Let me play that left hand for you once in time so you can get a sense of what it sounds like. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. One more time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now, if we put it all together for this, what I'm calling this verse A section, it sounds like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so practice that. Make sure you get that hands together. Putting your hands together is, not that tough if we practice very slowly and just take kind of one measure at a time. Make sure you have a good grasp of the right hand and the left hand separately before you start trying to put hands together.
Thanks for taking a look at this video. If you'd like to be notified the next time I release free content on YouTube, you can click on the subscribe button on this page. It's absolutely free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, if you'd like to study with me for free for 30 days, click on the Piano Success Playbook in the bottom left-hand side, and you'll get 30 days of lessons absolutely free of charge. I look forward to working with you in the next lesson.